his bow, pecking him on the shoulder. And that's when he decides to befriend the fowl. He picks it up, puts it on his lap, and pets it. Soon word gets around, and the turkey's friend joins in on the fun for a bird's eye view and uses the bow for a resting spot. We're talking turkey here.
Finally, a Thai temple's cat bid for affection during solemn Buddhist prayers was enough to test the patience of a monk trying to maintain his concentration. Video of the saffron-robed monk gently trying to push away the cat who crawled into his lap during the 5-hour delighted Thais who saw the footage on Facebook. After several attempts to repel the cat who blocked the view of his scripture book, the monk finally gave up and started petting the furry intruder. Thailand has a tradition of free-roaming cats at its many Buddhist temples, so this should not come as any surprise. For this little kitty, it was a religious experience.
And that's this week's edition of the News Hounds Now Update.
Thanks for watching. We'll see you back here Monday. News 3 Now at 5 starts right now.
And right now at 5, the hunt for a man who could be armed and dangerous continues in a Janesville neighborhood.
Plus, 2 winter storm systems are heading our way and could make for a messy weekend. We have team coverage of the storm and how it could impact where you park.
Plus, a Wisconsin child has died from the flu. We'll tell you what health officials have to say about the season so far.
From the Channel3000.com Alert Center, this is News 3 Now at 5.
And thanks for staying with News 3 Now. Law enforcement are still actively looking for a man they describe as dangerous, possibly armed, in a Janesville mobile home park.
We have team coverage tonight with Adam Duxter and Danica Lewis. Adam was the first on the scene this afternoon and has been reporting live on the developments for a couple of hours now. Adam, what's happening with the search right now?
Well, Eric and Susan, the sun is starting to go down, and moments ago I spoke with Rock County Sheriff Troy Knudsen, who says this means likely the department's going to have to start winding down their search as well, meaning as the sun continues to set, they'll have to continue to pull deputies off of this search. They'll keep a couple of squad cars here, I'm told, just in case they get a call or anything else happens. But again, their canines they had here earlier and their drone they were using to try and find this suspect will be of no use to them in the dark. Now, this did start earlier today around 1:30 when the Department of Criminal Investigation pulled over a vehicle just about a mile from here. They say that's when a man got out and ran, and this is a person they suspect to be dangerous and even possibly armed.
The information that I have to this point is that there was a belief that in the past he has been armed, and that is the premise that we're using in taking these precautions down here.
And you heard Sheriff Troy Knudsen mention those precautions. They definitely took them. Of course, having the local schools near here on lockdown, including Black Hawk Technical College. And that is where we find Danica Lewis, who has the latest on the situation there. And Danica, they were holding students there who live in this neighborhood. Is that correct?
That's absolutely right, Adam. And we actually just saw a deputy leave here within the last few minutes. He was here all afternoon, as we were as well. There was about 2,200 students between the high school here and the college campus who are here on any given day. And they were on what's called a lockout this afternoon. That lasted until right around 3:30. Now, what Adam was talking about, those students who live in the trailer park, Rock County deputies actually rode the bus with those high schoolers heading back there, which is less than a mile from here, by the way. And they actually stayed on board, escorted them to their homes once they arrived. A Black Hawk Technical College spokesperson tells me security guards and law enforcement were already here when authorities put this lockout in place. We spoke with a longtime Black Hawk faculty member who said she thought it was all just a drill.
In many ways it was scary, but actually it was also really reassuring to know that folks and the staff and everybody in the community is working together to make sure everybody is safe, and most importantly, that our students are safe.
Rabina Jan told us while they were able to leave before the suspect was apprehended, she does trust the judgment of law enforcement. So again, this campus was under that lockout for about an hour, maybe a little bit more here at Blackhawk Technical College. And of course, we will have any updates on the investigation as well as any impact to the schools here on channel3000.com.
All right, Danica and Adam, team coverage in Rock County, thank you very much. Also, 2 winter snowstorms are in the forecast for tonight and tomorrow.
The storms could bring freezing rain, snow, and wind. We have team coverage of the upcoming snowstorms. Meteorologists Gary Canalti and Dana Fulton are tracking the latest forecast, while reporters Jamie Perez and Gabriela Becerra are investigating what the storm will mean for you. But let's get right to Chief Meteorologist Gary Canalti, who has been watching the 2 systems all day. Gary?
Yeah, certainly, Susan. The precipitation now starting to break out pretty rapidly over southwestern Wisconsin. You can see some snow, maybe some freezing rain down toward the Illinois state line, streaking northeastward across southern Wisconsin. Now, if we take a look at pinpoint visibilities, you can see Madison right now, a visibility of 10 miles. So the precipitation not yet reaching the ground in most areas around Dane County, but to the south and west it is as those visibilities start to drop. Temperatures are right around freezing or a little bit below. That's critical because that could lead to freezing rain or snow. Winter storm warning in effect for Dane County in areas to the south and east through 6 a.m. Sunday morning. Winter weather advisories to the north and west. Snow totals for tonight about 1 to 3 inches, with the possibility for freezing rain bringing up to 1/4 of an inch of ice accumulation south of Madison. And then the second part of the storm tomorrow afternoon and tomorrow night could bring an additional 2 to 4 or 5 inches north and west of Madison to as much as 6 to 8 inches of snow south and east of Madison, or even a little bit more. Temperatures will slowly fall tonight. Look for the snow and freezing rain to continue into early tomorrow morning and then redevelop tomorrow afternoon. Tomorrow's high temperature topping out at 27 degrees. Now, big question is that precipitation reaching the ground? Well, let's take a look at that with Dana Fulton in our backyard.
Gary, right now there is a wintry mix out here in our backyard patio. A little bit of snow, a little bit of rain coming down, so you don't need the snow shovel just yet, but you'll definitely want to have it on hand as those winter impacts are going to increase throughout the area with the system coming through tonight. Expect major impacts for your driving later this evening as the snow does start to accumulate. Even this little bit of precipitation right now and freezing rain is going to make things very slick outside. Walking, you're going to want to be very careful on the sidewalks, even back here on the patio. So making sure you have that salt handy for your own household, and then of course clearing the snow off as we head into tomorrow, with the first round of snow wrapping up early in the day. That second round of snow, of course, coming through Saturday night into Sunday morning. The major impact zone here stretching right through Dane County up towards Fond du Lac, stretching down through Janesville as well. There's a bit of a gradient heading up to the north and west where those impacts start to decrease a little bit. But around Madison, we're concerned about that blowing snow, the visibility dropping, as Gary had mentioned, and of course the road conditions as the storm comes on through. But we're going to continue to keep a very close eye on these storms as they do begin to move in. Right now, it is still just rain and light snow mixed in, so a wintry mix back here on the patio, but we'll have more updates as the precipitation continues to move on through.
All right, Dana, Gary, thank you very much. And many cities and towns around the area have declared snow emergencies for the weekend.
But the rules on where you can park during a snow emergency will differ depending on where you are. Jamie Perez investigated those details today to help you avoid getting a ticket. Jamie?
We're actually starting to see some of that precipitation here downtown. The city of Madison has not yet declared a snow emergency, but they said once we hit 3 inches of snow, it is very likely that that is going to happen. And if you are one of the many people who may be confused about where to park, the best thing you can do is look at the signs posted wherever you want to park. And if you have the option, try not to park on the street at all. But if street parking is your only option, you can park in a city parking lot for free or make arrangements with a neighbor to park in their driveway or garage. If your area does not declare a snow emergency this weekend, you will follow the alternate side street parking rule. The odd number dates, park on the odd number side of the street. Same thing goes for the even number, and remember that is based on an overnight schedule. For those who live in Madison, the rules are a bit tricky, particularly if you live on the Isthmus.
And it's probably easier to think of the city as having 2 parts. There's outside of the snow emergency zone and within the snow emergency zone. For those that are outside, you have to follow alternate side parking rules every single night from November 15th to March 15th. Those that are within the snow emergency zone only have to follow those alternate side rules whenever we declare a snow emergency.
Again, those are Madison rules that he just stated. In some areas like Fort Atkinson, Barneveld, Lodi, Watertown, and Beloit, they have all declared snow emergencies for this weekend. There is no street parking at all in those places, so make sure you plan ahead, plan some parking arrangements in the nearest parking ramp or with your neighbors to make sure that you do not wake up with a parking ticket in the morning. And make sure you are keeping an eye on your local police and city website and social media. They will be posting updates throughout the next 48 hours. Also, if you head on over to channel3000.com right now, if you do not live in the Madison area, I have put together a list of places that have declared snow emergencies and what the parking rules are for those areas.
All important information. Jamie Perez reporting live. Jamie, thank you. The Homeless Services Consortium of Dane County issued extreme weather notifications for tonight.
And that means anyone who needs shelter can find it tonight. Gabriella Beccaria joins us now to tell us what is available. Gabby?
Is when temperatures are forecasted to be 20 degrees or below with wind chill. So tonight, the Salvation Army's Family Shelter, Women's Shelter, and Porch Light's Men's Drop-In Shelter will all be open and will not send anyone away.
Because 40 below zero, believe it or not. They say it was one of the coldest evenings in Rockford, Illinois at the time.
Lawrence Block experienced the importance of staying out of the cold himself.
I was walking one night, walking through this alley, and these police were just patrolling, you know, and happened to look at me and say, "Hey, guy, what the heck happened to your hands, man?"
Homeless at the time, Block lost multiple fingers to frostbite on one cold night years ago.
Three on this hand, about four about the same on that hand.
Now Block lives in Porch Light Housing, the same nonprofit that is preparing to help shelter people during this weekend's storm.
We're expecting some high numbers with the storm coming.
Porch Light already had a season high of 148 people. During extremely cold temperatures last year, they sheltered 170 people.
We do not turn people away for capacity issues. And at this time of year, nobody would be out of days. But even if somebody had been suspended from services with the cold weather and with the storm, we have weather exception nights, and so everybody is welcome to come in.
You got to be there at a certain time in order to get lined up to find out what shelter you're going to, either 1, 2, or 3.
Craig Lorimore plans to stay at Porch Light's Men's Drop-In Shelter this weekend.
Safe, secure, and warm. Okay. Them 3 favorite words I got in my mind right now for the shelter.
And Block's recommendation is simple.
You don't have to be out, you better not be out there.
Tennis says the men's shelter will be ready with warm weather items, including hats, gloves, socks, and blankets. Guests will also be treated to a warm meal when they arrive.
Gabriella, thank you. And we will keep you up to date on our weather app through the weekend. It features first alert traffic, radar, and hour-by-hour forecasts. You can download it for free in your phone's app store. Sauk County health officials are warning residents of a possible tuberculosis exposure in the county. Officials say tuberculosis has not been confirmed, but the individual is undergoing treatment. They say the person has ties to the Baraboo and Sauk Prairie school districts. TB is a potentially serious bacterial infection that can attack the lungs and spreads through the air. Symptoms include coughing up blood, fatigue, weight loss, and fever. The Sauk County Health Department is working to identify and contact those who were potentially exposed for testing.
The Department of Health Services says Wisconsin has seen its first pediatric flu-related death. Officials say the patient, who was younger than 10 years old, died on the way to a hospital in southeastern Wisconsin. They say the child had moved to Wisconsin in the last couple of months. It's unclear if they were vaccinated. According to DHS, the child tested positive for influenza B. That's the strain that's been spreading around the country and hitting younger patients particularly hard. Officials say the best way to prevent the flu from spreading is to get vaccinated. A Poinette man is dead after a 2-vehicle crash this morning. The Columbia County Sheriff's Office was called to the intersection of County Highways CS and V in Decorah Township. Deputies say an Alliant Energy utility truck ran a stop sign and hit a car. The 66-year-old driver died at the scene. A dog was also killed. The truck driver was not injured and is cooperating with the investigation.
Today marks 1 year since Jamie Kloss escaped after 88 days in captivity and returned home. Kloss was kidnapped after Jake Patterson broke into her home in Barron, Wisconsin, and killed her parents. It was on this day last year that she was able to escape in Douglas County and find help. Patterson was arrested and pleaded guilty to the the murder of Jamie's parents. He is currently serving life in prison. Even though Jamie's case is closed, there are still 47 missing children here in Wisconsin. The more time that goes by, the more difficult it becomes for police to find them. The National Center for Missing and Exploited Children maintains a database for those children. The organization works to bring awareness to every missing child, even though some cases like Jamie Kloss get more attention. There is a simple way that you can help. Circulating a child's photo is the #1 way to bring them home. And for parents, it's also up to you to act fast.
The quicker a parent or guardian realizes a child is missing, the better chance we have of finding them locally, especially the teenagers that have run away. They can get places pretty quickly, and a lot of times these are planned. The child has made contact with someone online.
You can find pictures of the 47 children currently missing in Wisconsin at the link posted on our website, channel3000.com. If you recognize a child from that list, or if you have a tip on where they might be, write down this number, 1-800-THE-LOST. That helpline is open 24/7.
Still ahead on News 3 Now at 5, Iran's top general wasn't the only U.S. target in a recent strike. We'll tell you who a new report says the U.S. missed.
And coming up tonight at 6, we're just a few days away from the big matchup between the Packers and the Seahawks. How players are preparing for the big game. Coming up tonight at 6.
And the market's closing the week on a down note. The Dow tumbling some 133 points. The Nasdaq off 24.5. S&P 500 closes down 9. And we'll be right back. The same day a U.S. drone strike killed a top Iranian general in Iraq, a new report says the U.S. missed another target.
The Washington Post is reporting the U.S. launched another strike in Yemen aimed at Abdul Reza Shalale, a financier and key commander of Iran's elite Quds force. But that strike did not kill the target. The Trump administration insists the drone strike on the Iranian general was needed because he was planning an imminent attack on Americans.
This was going to happen, and American lives were at risk, and we would have been culpably negligent. As the chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff said, we would have been culpably negligent had we not recommended to the president that he take this action in Qasem Soleimani. He made the right call, and America is safer as a result of that.
The Trump administration says in the hours after that attack, an Iranian surface-to-air missile shot down a Ukrainian passenger jet, killing all 176 people on board.
And we turn now to our forecast, an important one as we head to a busy weekend. Chief Meteorologist Gary Canalti with alert days in the forecast. Gary.
Yeah, basically from tonight through early on Sunday morning, we have alert days in the forecast. First one will be for tonight into tomorrow morning. That's for 1 to 3 inches of snow, but freezing rain is also a possibility from southern Dane County southward through Rock and Greene counties. There we could see freezing rain up to 1/4 inch, and that's pretty significant for ice accumulations. After a little bit of a break during the day tomorrow, another round of snow, possibly heavy from later tomorrow afternoon into tomorrow night. Right now, they're thinking a little bit less than what we were thinking yesterday, but still 2 to 4 inches of additional snowfall with 4 to 8 inches from Madison on toward the south and east. So when all is said and done, we're probably still going to be looking at snow totals somewhere in the neighborhood of anywhere from 3 inches for our far western viewing area to maybe as much as 8 or 9 inches south and east of Madison. The snow should end Sunday morning very early, but unfortunately the roads are going to be impacted from the snow and ice. Now, as we take a look at high-resolution Doppler radar, you can see this area of precipitation. Some of this is in the form of snow, some of it in the form of some light freezing rain. Dana was just out in the backyard, and our temperatures are just barely below freezing, so it's light freezing rain with a few flakes of snow, and then that changes to rain south of the Illinois state line where temperatures are above freezing. But you can see on Doppler track, there's more precipitation out to the south and west. It's starting to expand and head northeastward. So this is the first of 2 rounds of precipitation. Winter storm warnings in effect basically from southern and eastern Iowa through northern Illinois and eastern Wisconsin, with winter weather advisories to our north and west. The farther north and west you go, the quicker the snow will cut off. By the time you get to La Crosse, they'll be lucky if they have an inch of snow out of both weather systems. The first one tonight, again, about 1 to 3 inches of snow, maybe some localized 3-inch amounts from southwestern Wisconsin back into central Iowa, and then the potential there for some freezing rain. Now, there could be some areas up to 1/2 inch of ice accumulation across parts of northern Illinois and eastern Iowa. Southern Wisconsin, maybe around 1/4 inch near the state line. And again, that's close. That would be ice storm warning criteria. But as the precipitation in the second round moves in, that's more going to be in the form of snow, at least across much of southern Wisconsin. Again, 6 to 8 inches of snow south and east of Madison, maybe 4 to 6 inches in the Madison area, 2 to 4 inches farther to the north and west. Live view from the Edgewater Skycam in downtown Madison. Right now, just starting to see some very light precipitation. High today made it up to 40 after starting out at 28, but right now that critical temperature just below freezing. 31, winds have shifted to the north at 12 miles per hour, and our wind chill is at 22 degrees. You can see the difference. Temperature still in the 40s across parts of northern Illinois. That freezing line right in here, and that's where that changeover is going to be. Farther to the north and west, temperatures really get cold. This storm system is really coming together. Severe weather starting to break out across parts of the southeastern part of the country. Snow and ice on the northern fringes of the storm. The main area of low pressure now starting to move at a very favorable path that'll take it basically up into central Lake Michigan over the next day or so. Temperatures very cold to the north and west, very mild to the south and east. When you have that big temperature contrast, that's when you can get a big storm to develop. So again, winter storm warning in effect for Dane County and areas to the south and east through 6 a.m. Sunday morning. Winter weather advisories to the north and west. Tonight, snow developing. Could be mixing some freezing rain south of Madison, low at 22. For tomorrow, a break during the day and then snow redeveloping in the afternoon, high temperature at 27. On future track, notice the first surge of precipitation. That's at midnight, but then it ends pretty quickly tomorrow morning. A bit of a break during the day. The next surge starts to arrive Saturday afternoon. Peaks probably around midnight, and then by early on Sunday morning, it's already gone. On Sunday, the storm winding down and maybe just a couple of flurries with highs in the mid-20s. 1 to 3 inches of snow tonight, some ice down to the south, and then 3 to 6 inches north and west of Madison, maybe more to the south and east for the second round tomorrow night tomorrow afternoon and tomorrow night. 7 to 10 day forecast, accumulating snow chances Tuesday and Wednesday, probably light accumulations, and then another weather system late Friday into Saturday, and then again for the Martin Luther King Jr. holiday. As we take a look at the first alert traffic right now, there's the view of the Beltline. You can see the roads are wet. Right now, they've probably been treated, so they're just wet, but we're seeing delays eastbound on the Beltline from Monona Drive all the way back to west of Verona Road. We also have a stalled vehicle near Fish Hatchery Road on the Beltline. Westbound, we're seeing delays from Fish Hatchery Road all the way back to Monona Drive. So travel times right now, almost 40 minutes on the eastbound Beltline from University Avenue to the interstate, almost a half hour back in the westbound direction. Heading out of Madison, 26 minutes down to Janesville on I-3990, 17 minutes to Sauk City on US 12, and 18 minutes to Sun Prairie on East Washington Avenue and US 151. That's your News 3 Now First Alert Traffic.
Gary, thank you.
Up next, NASA graduates its next class of astronauts, and if it goes as planned, it includes the next man and first woman to walk on the moon. The story just ahead. Stay with us. NASA graduated its newest class of astronauts today during a special ceremony at the Johnson Space Center in Texas.
11 Americans and 2 Canadian astronauts crossed the stage. The men and women are the first class to graduate under NASA's Artemis program, making them eligible to fly to the moon as well as the International Space Station.
In the year 2024, we are going to take not only the next man, but the first woman to the surface of the moon by direction of the President of the United States.
The candidates were selected from a pool of more than 18,000 applicants.
And stay with us. We'll have another important check of your forecast in just a moment.
For first, fast, accurate weather updates, watch First Alert Weather.
Gary doing all this forecast. He's got to go to a weather conference tomorrow, right? You're going to make it?
8:05 flight tomorrow. We'll see. Hopefully that's in between systems. Let's take a look first of all at radar right now. You can see the precipitation spreading in pretty rapidly. Some of it snow, some of it freezing rain. Winter storm warning, Dane County and areas to the south and east through 6 a.m. Sunday. Winter weather advisories to the north and west. Temperature in Madison's dropped another degree to 30, so we're below freezing now. 1 to 3 inches of snow tonight, some ice down toward the Illinois state line, and then heavy snow later tomorrow afternoon.
We'll have more updates in 30 minutes on News 3 Now at 6. Stay tuned now for the CBS Evening News.